Somebody's done something to this. They must have all sneaked in when we've all been away. Filthy traitors!
You mean blocked it up on purpose?
Yes. Who? I'll find out. And when I do... Where have you been? Leaving me here? Do you want me to go to the youth center without any supper and tell them that you don't feed me, eh?
Oh, no, dear.
After all I've done this afternoon.
Oh, yes, dear. She's such a brave, clever girl. A real child hero, as they say. She actually managed to...
Don't tell him about it, don't you dare!
No, dear. Mr. Smith's come to fix the sink for us.
Yes, I'll just take a look. Do you mind if I borrow that piece of wire?
Now, Bunting, 400 meters.
Where's my supper?
A moment, dear.
And I want mine. Someday I'm going to be a child hero. You've got to make us strong. We're the glorious generation. We're going to track down all the thought criminals and traitors. We'll shoot them. We'll vaporize them. Whoever they are. Do you want me to go to the youth center without any supper and tell them that you don't feed me, eh?
Oh, no, dear.
I'll report you, said the child. That was from George Orwell's 1984. And I played that a few weeks ago, and I bet some of y'all thought, oh, here he go, head doctor with his crazy conspiracy theories again. When I used that clip to say that if this movement is not stopped, parents are merely going to be some people who only happens to be living under the same roof with the kids. And I hope that folks really understand Joe's mention of the teachers and the role that they're playing in this whole thing.
Her students tell her, even after they graduated, they hold on to the lessons she taught them. Not only about integrals and derivatives, but about community connections, about how all of us belong. Rebecca put a teacher's creed into words when she said, there's no such thing as someone else's child. No such thing as someone else's child. Our nation's children are all our children. As I often say, you teachers hold the kite strings to lift our national ambitions aloft. You really do. Imagine, just imagine if we didn't have great teachers in this country. What difficulty we're in. You are determining our future.
The kids belong to the state, said Joe. That's what they are all our kids really means. You with young kids, your kids in the future, your kids won't need to be in good standing with you if they want that new PlayStation. Or if they want a car for their high school graduation, they'll only have to have a good social credit score. Your daughter won't need to wait for you to feel like doing her hair. She'll be able to go out and get her own hair done if the state sees her as worthy of a new hairdo. And you'll be afraid to yell at them or discipline them. As a matter of fact, you'll already know better than to even try it.
So Proposition 1 has now, it's going to into effect January 1st. Here's how it's going to amend our Constitution in California. It says the state shall not deny or interfere with an individual's reproductive freedom in their most individual decisions, including abortion and use of contraception, and it goes on and on. All right, so you have to kind of look, in law, words mean things, and a word doesn't have no meaning. Every word has a meaning. Well, the word individual in California is already defined. It's already known. It means a person without respect to age or competency or anything else. So an individual can refer to a 13-year-old girl, 10-year-old boy, right? That it's not qualified by age. So an individual's reproductive freedom, what does that mean? Nobody knows. The Proposition 1 and a fundamental right of reproductive freedom. If a pedophile, which is also known as a minor attracted person, because we're going to call them something nice that doesn't sound so creepy, weird. But, so Uncle Joe, who's 40, he really enjoys, improper relationships with 13-year-old boys. Let's put it that way. Okay. Right. Why can't he enjoy this individual reproductive freedom? If he's a pedophile and that's his enjoyment, well, then who's going to decide that? And you see the child, the individual, right, can consent to that, I guess, apparently under California, under Proposition 1.
I played that clip before, but that was only seconds of Susan Swift. And it'll be in the description box. Everything I'm going to play, it'll be in the description box. But that was only seconds of Susan Swift talking about how different states are writing laws that classify kids as individuals instead of children. Right? And children, they are individuals. We're all individuals. But what they're up to is to make individual into meaning adult or someone who doesn't belong to the parents. That's what they mean by individual. And that's why they've been pushing to lower the age to vote and lower the ages of consent, lowering the ages to stuff like these gender surgeries and other things.
She gave me a bucket change with her, didn't you? Uh-huh. Spots great big sissy, spots great big sissy. Who's a great big sissy? Spots great big sissy.
Now, a sexual orientation, what is that? It's what we're attracted to sexually, right? Me, it's women. You, it's men. Some of you that's listening, it might be both men and women that you're attracted to. But another sexual orientation, and some will disagree with me on this and say, no, that's not an orientation, that's a criminal act. And yeah, it is criminal for now. But pedophilia is indeed a sexual orientation. Why? Because their sexual attraction is for children. Same as bestiality. Bestiality is another sexual orientation, sexual orientation. Their attraction is to animals. More criminal activity, but a sexual orientation nonetheless. Now, I said it's criminal for now. For now, like how whatever country that was, they just decriminalized bestiality. I forget which country that was, though. They just done that not too long ago. But I said pedophilia, it's criminal for now. Because in Minnesota, a bill was introduced to exclude pedophiles from the exception to the Protections Act. Right now, we all know you can't discriminate against someone based on their sexual orientation, except for pedophiles. The law said, yeah, you can discriminate against them. But somebody in Minnesota is trying to have that part of the law erased to include pedophiles in the protections that prohibit discrimination based on sexual orientation. In doing that, you know what that would do? That would open the door for convicted pedophiles to get jobs at, say, the local daycare center or elementaries and high schools and work at the Boys and Girl Scouts of America. Again, let me be clear on what I'm saying. Right now, the law is you can't discriminate based on somebody's sexual orientation. If they're heterosexual or homosexual, you can't do that. But pedophiles, you can. You can cast them out, banish them, shun them, whatever you want to do. There's somebody in Minnesota right now trying to get pedophiles included in the protections of other sexual orientations, right? Doing that, you know what that would do? That would also make me and you the lawbreaker if we express that we have a problem with it. And of course, overall, it will decriminalize pedophilia itself. Now, something that bothers me a bit, and what that is all this talk about these blue states, these Democratic ran states. That's the war cry of conservatives. Meanwhile, more than a few of these red states, ran by Republicans and conservatives, have been pushing to lower the ages of consent as well. And I hear a dumbass question that keeps coming from conservatives regarding the issue of kids. And the dumbass question is, why is nobody stopping this? And the question is dumb because the answer is right in their faces. And the answer is because their Republican lawmakers, their elected officials are in on it too. And of course, not all of them, but look at how the Epstein issue just disappeared. No way something that high profile is only going to be talked about by, a few hands full of conspiracy theorists.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Mainstream media buried the Epstein case.
Is it true, sir, that...
Why? Well, because all of them would be in jail if that thing were legitimately investigated. These people, our politicians and others, are into all kinds of devilishment. They're all in on it, right? I don't literally mean all, but you know what I mean. They're all in on it. And if they didn't directly partake in it, they been knew what was going on with the Epstein stuff. They're in on it in one way or another. That's why this aim to get kids has been going full steam ahead with little to no pushback. It's because they want it too. Not just these activists we see pushing for it, but the lawmakers are into that kind of stuff, so they want it too. That's why there's been little to no pushback. Now, a while back, I think it's been about 7 years since I first asked this question. Yeah, it's been about 7 years, 6, 7 years probably. I asked, why shouldn't it become lawful for us to fuck children? And by us, I don't necessarily mean me or you. By us, I just mean adults. I asked, why shouldn't it become okay for us to fuck children? And a few people got upset with me for even asking, when the context of my question was, when you have people working hard to make it legal and there's been little to nothing to stop them, then why shouldn't it become legal? Well, because they're just children and it's not right. Wrong. Saying that it's not right because they're just children is the wrong answer to people who are pushing hard and getting it done slowly and steadily. Saying it's not right is the wrong answer. Or maybe it's not. Yeah, maybe it's not the wrong answer, but if it's not the wrong answer, it's not a good enough answer.